So the last time we multiplied, I had you write everything out in place value, and then I had to write it out in words, and I told you that we wouldn't be doing that anymore. And we're not. But if I have the problem 24 times 40. The last time we broke it down into 20 plus 4 times 40. And then we multiplied every one of our place values. We did 20 times 40, and then we did 4 times 40. But we wrote it out in words. Notice I'm not writing it out in words this time. If I multiply 20 times 40, that's going to be 8 with 2 zeros. And if I multiply 4 times 40, that's going to be 16 with 1 zero. And then at the end, remember, we just added them together. We're going to do this today, but in a nicer way. Some of you already know how to do it. And then I'm also going to introduce the standard algorithm, and some of you are going to be happy about that. But you have to do every problem both ways today. The first way I'm going to show you is by using an area model. If I multiply, this time I'm going to multiply the problem 24 times 21. We're going to make an area model. Since there's 2 digits here and 2 digits there, I'm going to make a 2 by 2 box. In the first box, or in the top row, I'm going to place the number 24. The 2 represents 2 tens, which is 20, and the 4 represents 4 ones, which is 4. Then I'm going to place down the 21. The 21 represents 2 tens, which is 20, and 1 1, which is 1. Now when you multiply, you're just going to multiply the boxes together. So if I multiply these 2 boxes together, 20 times 20 is 400. If I multiply these 2 boxes together, that's going to be 20 times 4, which is 80. If I multiply these 2 boxes together, that's just going to be 20. And when I multiply the last box together, that's going to be 4. Then you take the numbers that are in the boxes and you add them up. You're going to get 4. 8 plus 2 is 10. 4 plus 1 is 5. So your answer would be 504. That is using the area model, which I think a lot of you should use the area model because it's a great way to multiply. Now we're going to go over here and talk about the standard algorithm, which a lot of you think you know how to do and a lot of you want to do, but a lot of mistakes occur when you use the standard algorithm. So when you use the standard algorithm, I'm going to multiply 24 times 21. So when I'm multiplying 1 times 4, I'm multiplying a ones place times a ones place. So my answer is going to be in the ones place. That's why I had you write it out in words last week. So 1 1 times 4 ones is equal to 4 ones. Here I have 1 1 times 2 tens. 1 1 times 2 tens is 2 tens, which would put my 2 there. Next, I'm going to multiply by the 2. But I am not multiplying by 2 ones. I am multiplying by 2 tens. So 2 tens times 4 ones is equal to 80. That's why you put the 0 there. A lot of times the teachers tell you to put the 0 there and you have no reason why you put the 0 there, but that's why, because it's 2 tens times 4 ones. 2 tens times 4 ones is 80. And then finally, 2 tens times 2 tens is 400. When you add, you should get the exact same answer as you did there. You are going to be doing these problems both ways today. You're going to be doing standard algorithm and you're going to be doing the area model. So I'm going to give you a couple more examples and then I'm going to give you an assignment. So let's do another one. Next problem is going to be a 3-digit number times a 2-digit number. So I'm going to have, it's going to be 242 times 21. So this time I have a 3-digit number times a 2-digit number. So when I make my area model, I'm going to have a 3-digit number going that way and a 2-digit number going that way. So filling in my numbers, the 2 is in the hundreds place, the 4 is in the tens place, and the 2 is in the ones place. And then over here, this 2 is in the tens place, and that 1 is in the ones place. And we're going to do the exact same thing we did before. We're just going to multiply across. So 20 times 200 is 2 times 2 is 4 with 1, 2, 3 zeros. And then 20 times 40 is 800. And 20 times 2 is 40. Then we're going to get 1 times 200 is 200. 1 times 40 is 40. And 1 times 2 is 2. You can add them up this way, or you can just line them all up. It doesn't matter. But if I add 4,000 plus 800 plus 40, that's going to be equal to 4,840. If I add 200 plus 40 plus 2, that's going to be equal to 242. And when I add those together, I'm going to get 5,802. Now let's compare it again to the standard algorithm. On the standard algorithm, you put the one with the most digits on top. So I'm going to put 400. I'm going to put 242 on top. I'm going to multiply it by 21. Now remember, when I multiply, I'm going to start with the ones place. So 1 times 2 is 2. 1 times 40 is going to be in the tens place. And then 1 times 2 is going to be in the hundreds place. Then I'm going to add, and then I'm going to multiply by my tens place. 2 tens times 2 ones is equal to 20. That's why you put the 0 there. 2 tens times 4 tens is equal to 800. And 2 tens times 2 hundreds is equal to 4,000. When you add, you'll get 2. Oops. I messed up right there, because that should be a 40, not an 80. 2 times 2 is 4. Sorry about that. And then add that, that's going to be 8. That's going to be 10. And that's going to be 5. I want you to notice something. Do these numbers here look exactly like those numbers there? It's supposed to. That's the connection. So your answer would be 5,082. And if any of you noticed my mistake earlier, I'm sorry, but I did fix it at the end. We're going to do one more problem together. Next, we are going to do $27 times 36. Now we're going to do 527 times 36. So when I make my area model, I have to make a 3 by 2 box. And then I'm going to put in 527. And then I'm going to put over here, I'm going to put in 36. And we're going to do the exact same thing we did before. 30 times 500 is 15 with 3 zeros. 30 times 20 is 600. And 30 times 7 is 210. Next, 6 times 500. Well, 6 times 5 is 30. I have 2 zeros. 6 times 20 is 120. And 6 times 7 is 42. Now, last time I added those across, and then I added them down, but I don't know if I can add those in my head. So if you can't add those in your head, just line them up. The first number is 15,000. The second number is 600. And the next number is 210. You can add that column up first if you want. 6 plus 2 is 8, 5, 1. And then I can add 3,000 plus 120 plus 42. Get that number, and then I can combine the two. 15810 plus 3162. And I'm going to get 27981. So my answer will be 18,962. Now let's compare that to the standard algorithm. Now this time we may have some problems on the standard algorithm that were different from the last set of problems that we did. Our problem again is 527 times 36. Okay, so I'm going to multiply 7 times 6. This time, when I multiply in my ones place, I'm not going to get a single digit number like I did before. I'm going to get the number 42. That means I've got 42. I've got 2 ones. But remember when we drew the dots and we bundled them? Well, that's exactly what we're doing. I have 4 groups of 10 left over. So when I bring those 4 groups of 10, I'm going to bring my 4 groups of 10 over there. So when I multiply my 6 ones times my 2 10s, I'm going to end up with 120. But I also had 4 additional more groups of 10. So that's going to be 160. So I'm going to bring down my 6, but I have another group of 10 that I have to bring over there. So 6 times 5 is 30, plus my extra group of 10 is 31. And notice, again, those 2 numbers right there should be the same. Now I'm going to multiply 3 30 times 7. Well, 30 times 7 is 210. So I'm going to bring down my 0 and my 1 from the 200, but I've got to carry that other group over there. 30 times 20 is 600, plus the 2 extra that I have is going to be 8. I don't have anything to regroup this time because I didn't have any extra groups left over. And then 5 times 3 is 15, nothing to regroup. Notice, again, those two numbers there should be the same. And when I add, I'm going to get 2, 6, 9, 8. Oops, sorry, 2, 7, 9, 8, 1. And my two answers, again, should be the same. I am going to leave you with some problems to do, so go to the next slide and you'll find out what your must-do problems are. You must show every bit of work. You do not need a separate sheet of paper unless you want to keep things nice and neat and lined up, and then you may use a separate sheet of paper. Please staple your paper to your work when you are completed. I hope this helps. I will see you tomorrow. Hope you're having a great day.